Hi, Facebook friends. I am really excited to be on here with you guys because this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I decided that it was time for me to talk about it. It's not always easy, you know. We're really hard on ourselves. And so I just wanted to put this out here to let you know that I'm no different than you are. And when I recognize things, I want to try to bring it to not only to my own attention, but also maybe bring it to the attention of other people that might be struggling with the same things that I am, okay? Thanks so much for jumping on, guys. I appreciate you. Hi, Andrea. It is so great to have you guys join me, especially when it's topics like this, right? To where we're worried. Okay, oh my gosh, what's she gonna say? Is this something that I might be thinking or feeling the same way? I mean, first of all, it's like, have you ever had something that made you feel like you needed to hide it from others? And then after hiding it from others, it started to change the way that you felt about yourself. If you've ever had that experience, please put a 1 down below. Put a 1 down in the comments section, and so that I know that I'm not alone, right? Because none of us like to be alone because it's tough, right? And so thanks for jumping on, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for the thumbs ups and the hearts and all that stuff. It makes us feel good when we get that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, Kathy, totally. I am so glad that I'm not alone. And just so you know, sister, you're not alone either, right? Because we all have those things that come up. Whether it's a pimple that we tried to hide, or we just don't go out anywhere because we don't want anybody to look at us like we've got this third eye or something like that, right? Or we try to cover it up with so much makeup that it's freaking obvious that it's there, right? But we're trying to make ourselves feel better about ourselves because we have this perception that other people are going to look at us in a different way, right? So if you've ever had that experience, please drop a 1 that you've had something happen to where you tried to hide it from people, and by trying to hide it, it ended up changing the way you felt about yourself. Because that's where I'm at right now, okay? Because, you know, life happens. We all, as we age especially, start having things happen on our bodies or in our minds that we don't necessarily want to share with people, and so we try to hide it. And the big reason why I want to do this is just to show the compounding effect of when we start to think poorly about ourselves or feel like we have something that we need to hide. Gosh, if you know what the compound effect is, please drop a 2 down below. Drop a 2 if you know what the compound effect is. Basically, the compound effect is where you can have something that you do that's very small, that if you do it for a long enough period of time, it becomes a really big thing. It could be a really good, big, positive thing, or it could be a really sad, hard lesson thing type too. So with me, you know, I live in Arizona. I'm a very, very fair-skinned person, but I also grew up in the day and time that we, you know, we worshipped the sun, right? And so I spent a lot of time out in the sun, and I kind of have that habit. I love the sun. I love getting my vitamin D the right way. And if you think that you have anybody that could really resonate with what I'm sharing, please share this. Share it with your friends. Invite them to watch it because I just want to be whole and vulnerable with you guys about where I'm at in my life right now, things that I've been kind of trying to hide, and Band-Aids just won't do it anymore. And I want people to know that they're not alone, okay? So please, if you share, please write in shared, because I'd love to give you a shout out. So I appreciate you guys for sharing this information. So for me, like I was saying, it's like I am this like sun goddess. Not that I'm a goddess, but I worship the sun, right? I love getting my vitamin D. And now that we moved to a house that has a pool, sometimes it's even worse, right? And we all think that if we alter our appearance, we're going to look a little bit better, right? So you guys have always known me as being somebody that had the short bleached blonde hair. And guess what? This is my natural color now. Oh my gosh. I hadn't seen it in almost 20 years. And I finally decided, it's like, hey, you know what? It's time for me to see my natural color, right? So I did that. But in the meantime, I have had some skin cancer before that I have had to have removed and had been treated for it. And I had a spot right up here, you can kind of see where it's red a little bit, that I had frozen before. And so I had to go in and they did a biopsy of it, and I'm still waiting for those results, all that kind of stuff. But the thing about it was, and I want you guys to share with me too, it's like, put a 3 down below if you've ever had any problems with your skin and maybe some questionable spots that you've had to go into the dermatologist for. Or you have questionable spots and you're scared to go in. Hi Diana, how are you, sweetie? You know, because it can be a scary thing, right? So a 3 if you've ever had any questionable spots on your body that you've had to go in. Well, I've had one that came up since my last appointment. Yeah, Lauren, seriously, right? It's a hard thing. So I had to go in because I had a spot come up since my last appointment that I was worried about. And you guys, I'm sure many of you have already seen it. Even I'm still a little bit hiding it from you, aren't I? And the thing is that we're so worried about what people are going to think, especially if you get in front of people very frequently. We judge ourselves so harshly. And so, you know, I went in, I had this spot checked, and they thought that it could possibly be questionable as well, and so they decided to do the freezing treatment of it. So when she froze it, oh my gosh, it hurt like heck. I had never had one hurt that bad. This one here didn't hurt bad at all when they froze it, but maybe that's why I had to have the biopsy, right? And because maybe they didn't freeze it enough. Well, I'm going to show you what I've been hiding for the past almost, gosh, I think it's been almost a week now. So I've been hiding a spot on my chest, see here, where they froze it. And after freezing it, so the frozen part is that white part in the center. And the red is how big it blistered up. And it blistered up to where it was bigger than a dime, and it was like that, sticking out that far. And so I was looking at that, and it's like all I could see is like, oh my gosh. And I even started making jokes about it, right? Making jokes about it with my husband and with friends and all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, see my little friend, or my third eye, or whatever it is. But because it was me trying to be comfortable with it by joking around, right? And so that spot there, really, when you look at it, I was hiding it, and then I started to lose confidence in myself. I started then to look at my hair, and it's like, oh my gosh, do I look really bad with my hair this short? And then I would look at my makeup, and it's like, oh my gosh, is my makeup put on okay? Or, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? We start questioning ourselves when we're hiding things and when we're not outright with people. And yet what I've learned is that, you know what? This is a potentially life-saving, it's a picture of a potentially life-saving procedure that I had to have done. So why am I hiding it? Where if I put it out there and let people see it, I don't think that you're going to look down on me for it, I hope. And if you do, then maybe you should be nicer. But what I want to share with you is this, like, me sharing something that makes me feel maybe a little bit less than could possibly be something that someone else can look at, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's willing to step out there and be confident enough to let people see her little friend on her chest. And so maybe they will reach out to someone when they have something that they're hiding and be willing to share it. Because I have to tell you guys, it's so hard to go through life feeling like you have to hide from the outside world, feeling like you have to pretend like you're someone else. And I lived a huge part of my life that way, And thankfully, I'm not there anymore. But because of programming that is in there that doesn't ever fully get out, every once in a while, we fall back into it, right? So if you are seeing or hearing anything that you think that any of your friends, family, your Facebook friends need to hear, please share this message, because I think it is so, so important that people know that, you know what, it's not what's going on out here that matters. It's a matter of what's going on in here that matters, okay? What you have in your heart and the way that you share it with other people is what you will be remembered for, and that's what you need to be proud of as long as you're living the right way. Okay, guys? So I appreciate you so much for jumping on. Thanks so much for your love and support, and for letting me out my friend to you, because I have been wearing this, horrible Band-Aid, you know, this big old Band-Aid on my chest, hiding it. And it was, my thought was, oh, I'm protecting it so it doesn't get infected. But in all reality, that was a story to myself, because I was afraid of the judgment that would come, or how people might look at me and what I look like, because sometimes I can be vain, as any one of us can be. And so when we look at ourselves and see an imperfection, it's hard. It's hard to not try to cover it up. But what I want you to tell you is that you don't need to cover yourself up. You don't need to cover anything up, because anything and everything that is imperfect about us, God's already taken care of. Okay? Because God is that good. All right, guys, I love you all so very much. So thank you for getting on here, being my amazing supporters and my friends, and I appreciate you. And I so look forward to seeing each and every one of you down the road, some of you sooner than others, but please give me a hug when I see you, because I love you, and you guys, you are enough just because you are. So have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. Love to you all.